Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today I want to do a comparison between some of the most popular log handling tools on the market. So the first tool we have is the Logox 3-in-1 forestry kit. And right here is that kit. There's one more piece actually. We've also got this piece right here. Now, this is a tool, they call it a 3-in-1 tool, but I think you could almost call it a 4-in-1 tool. So I'm going to show you all of the functions of this tool first. So what we have here is a log cant. You can put this hook on your log and rotate it and roll a log over. I think most of you are probably familiar with a log cant. And it's also got a jack right here that you can take on and off that allows it to be like a log jack. So when you roll it over, it can rest on this, hold the log up in the air. But I hardly ever use this piece of it. I've had the Logox tools for a couple years now, and I rarely use this, so we're going to set it aside for now. So at this point, we have a log cant. It's very heavy built. This is steel. It's not only heavy built, but it is heavy. So that's very definitely going to be, to me, it's a pro and a con. You want something heavy built, but this thing feels like it's heavier than it needs to be. But let's take this handle off and show you the next tool that you have here. So you take that handle off, you put the same pin through here. Now we have a hookaroon or a pickaroon, whichever one you prefer to call it. You slam it into a piece of wood and you drag that piece of wood. And the other tool you have now is a hauler. You use it with the jaw just like the cant to hook a log, pick it up and carry it. So that is a multi-purpose tool in one unit. And at the end of this, we're going to talk about whether I think, after having used that a lot, if I think it's better to have all of that packed into one unit or to have separate tools. Now the next set of tools we have here is from LogRight. And this is two standalone tools. We have a log cant and we have a hookaroon. So comparing these two hookaroons, the LogRight tool is about 4 inches taller and it weighs less. This is steel, this is aluminum. Now, the first part of the comparison is the choice between using this heavier tool, a heavy steel, to make a tool like this, or the aluminum. And so you're comparing strength versus weight. The aluminum is lighter and it's going to be more comfortable to use all day. And the concern is an aluminum tool going to hold up as well? I feel pretty confident in saying yes, it is. And the reason I say that is the same reason I ended up with this tool. So I have a friend, Paul Case, that I've shown on the channel quite a few times, and he has a sawmill that they run 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. They mill lumber about 30 hours a week, and they use a LogRight cant hook. And they've been using the same one, he said, for at least a decade. And it's an aluminum tool, and 10 years later it's held up just fine. So for my money, I'm going to choose, as a pros and cons feature, I would rather have the aluminum tools. Now, let's compare the log cants. So I take this pin out and I put the hookaroon somewhere. Put the handle back in. Put the pin back in. Now, we've got these two handles. They're both touching the ground right now. And the LogRight tool, what's that, 18 inches taller? And the LogRight tool is, I don't know, just the cants, I'd say this tool might be just slightly heavier than this one. But it's pretty, they feel comparable. They feel like they weigh about the same. So our hooks are pretty similar. This one has a deeper hook, this is a more shallow hook. But the heads are the same, this one just has a much longer handle. Now what would you say between these two tools is going to give you more leverage. Because I have this to roll big logs. I'm not using it on small logs. So which one of these is going to give you more leverage? Obviously, the long handle. So if I'm just choosing between these two tools, I'd rather have the one with the long handle. So now, let's actually use these and see how they fare. And then I'll give you my thoughts as a longer owner of the Logox about the functionality of having that all built into one tool. Okay, with these being similar tools, I would expect to get similar results, but let's find out. The purpose of this tool is to move this around. Pick it up and drag it over here. Okay, and we got another one. This is a big heavy one. Stab it and drag it. So if you've never used one of these or you're wondering how useful it is, that's the purpose. I'm moving these rounds without bending down and stressing my back. So let's do this one. LogRight Hookaroon. Seems perfectly good, does exactly what it's supposed to do. This is heavy duty. You could remove a roll pin there and change the tip out. Good tool. Okay, let's do the same thing with the Logox version. Now, one thing about this one, that one was sharp. This one is blunt. I'm not sure the purpose of having that be more blunt. I'm guessing a sharper point might wear out faster, might be the thought process. That wasn't the tool's fault. I hit it on the outside edge of that. Okay, that worked perfectly fine. You can pull this pin right here. This would be a replaceable tip on it. So these seem like a very similar tool. They're similar in functionality. The LogRight has a longer handle and it is lighter weight than the Logox version. This is the Logox hauler. This is a tool that I don't have a comparable tool for from LogRight. But you're gonna drop that around it and you're gonna carry it like this. And you're gonna set it up on your splitter. Now this is not too bad to carry this, but when I go to set it on the splitter, I do think this tool has value for moving rounds almost in place of your Hookaroon, but I'll just tell you the truth. I've had this 2 years, and if I want to set that round onto my splitter and I have this tool down here, I pick it up off the ground by hand. I just don't. Sorry to Logox, and I'm sure people like these. Me personally, I've owned this. I keep it by the splitter when I'm working, and I rarely ever use this to pick up a round. I do use the Hookaroon. I do use the Cant. Okay, so now let's compare the log cants. So for me to do this comparison, I get these two, and I'll put this over here with the log jack. Okay, so that rolled over and landed on a flat spot. Now it rolled so easy because it's on a hill. It's not a super steep hill, But if it wasn't on that hill, I still could have rolled it. It just would have stopped on the other side. But it went ahead and rolled over, and it's on the same flat spot, so we have the same test. So you just watched me do the exact same task with these two competing brands of similar tools. Now, which one would I recommend you buy? So, first, we'll talk about functionality. This tool does everything that I needed it to do, but I was in the market shopping for a replacement tool because I think the handle needs to be longer is one reason, and the second reason, I don't like that if I am using this to turn logs and then I want to use the Hookaroon, I have to take the handle off and put the other head on, and if I'm using it like this, I've got that little piece and I have to avoid losing that. So I was slightly, this is a great quality built unit, but I was a little bit disappointed in it for those two reasons. So I just pulled my phone out and looked this up. Right now, the cheapest I could find this product is $230. And from doing that search, I found out why it's called a 3-in-1 tool instead of a 4-in-1 tool. And the answer is that the Hookaroon attachment does not come in the 3-in-1 kit. It's an additional $49.99 to get the extra part. So you're looking at $280 for this tool. And for the two LogRight tools that I've demonstrated here was $208. So you're saving $70. You're not hassling with changing out pins. You have a longer bar. You have lighter weight tools. And so for my money, I would clearly choose LogRight. Now, I mentioned I went to my friend Paul Case's house and I saw that he was using these lighter weight, longer Cant hooks. And that made me think about, I'd really like to have the same hook that Paul has. So I sent LogRight an email. I said, I want to do a demonstration of your products and a comparison to another product. And asked them if they would provide them to me for this channel to demonstrate. And they agreed to do that, which is always a brave thing to submit your product knowing that it's going to be compared, maybe favorably and maybe not. And so they provided these tools for the comparison. But I think I tried to give a completely honest review. There are a couple things I like better about the LogRight tools. So I'll put links in the description for both of these products if you're interested in getting one or the other. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.